Welcome, deities, to another Smite 2 God Guide, this time for Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead. Anubis's key features include magical damage, intelligent scaling, ranged auto attacks, high lockdown, and high damage. Anubis's passive, the Scales. Gain bonus lifesteal, physical protections, and magical protections. These bonuses increase as your health declines. You gain 1 stack of this buff for each 10% of your health missing. At maximum stacks, bonus protections are supposed to double. I cannot confirm that that is happening. At maximum stacks, bonus lifesteal is supposed to triple. I also cannot confirm that that is happening. On the tooltip here, it says that protections increase by 10 plus 0.5 per level. Protections actually increase by 2 plus 0.5 per level. The lifesteal is supposed to be 6% per stack. So, with no stacks, you have no lifesteal, and none of your abilities heal. I'm not even sure if heal numbers pop up when you're max health, but either way, take my word for it. With a bit of damage, at 3 stacks, our 3 will probably heal for 1 per tick. 2 per tick. At max stacks, my 3 heals me for 3 a tick. This will increase with your in-hand lifesteal. So the more lifesteal you build, the more that this passive will affect it. At max stacks, you can see now that I have... This minion is going to kill me. Hold on. At max stacks, I have 39 physical protections and 48 magical protections. I'm going to jump into the fountain now, and you'll see that per heal of the fountain, my protections will go down by 2. Until I have 0 stacks of my passive. Once again, resetting me to my base protections. And when I take damage, you can see my protections increase. At death, you can see that the max stacks did not double. They only went up by 2. Either way, that is Anubis's passive. Anubis's first ability, Plague of Locusts. Locusts fly from your mouth, repeatedly dealing magical damage in an area in front of you. This is a channeled ability. You are displacement immune and move at reduced movement speed while channeling. This ability hits 12 times over 2.5 seconds, meaning that the total intelligence scaling of this ability is 264% if you can manage to hit every tick of this ability, which is not likely, but still, those are some numbers, okay? The self-slow is reduced while leveling the ability. So the more you level the ability, the faster you will be able to walk while using the ability. The targeter is at 110 degrees. It feels like 180 degrees, but that's fine. The cooldown decreases per level, and the cost increases per level, but it starts at a very low 30 per cast, increasing to 70 per cast. Anubis is not a high mana usage god. At rank 1, you'll be able to see how slow Anubis walks while casting the ability. I'll walk, cast, slow down, speed up after the cast is done. At max rank, at rank 5, this effect is decreased by a lot, and it barely feels like you're slowing down. I'm going to use the ability, slow down, speed up. The targeter is fairly large, both in width and in length. It will deal damage to everybody in the area. The ability also goes through walls, which I am not sure if that was a feature in Smite 1 or not, but it is in Smite 2. As you can see, I will hit him and then walk behind the wall and still be able to hit him. I'll cast again from behind the wall where I can't hit him. You can see my targeter there on the left, almost hitting him. And then if I move, start smacking. So if there is a on her pillar in front of you or a Ymir wall in front of you, no need to fret. You can still smack. Anubis' second ability is Mummify. Fire a bandage projectile, mummifying and stunning the first god hit. The ability deals magical damage only to gods. The projectile ignores minions in every way and stops on walls. It will not deal damage to minions. It will not hit minions. It will not exist to minions. The damage is increased every level. The scaling stays the same. The stun duration increases per level, but it's not something you should focus on. This is going to be the last ability that you'll end up leveling. If you really feel like you need a tiny bit longer of a stun, then you can put 1 or 2 levels in it, but I do not advise doing that. I advise leveling this level last after your ultimate. The cooldown decreases per level, so that is an advantage, but it only decreases by 2 seconds at max rank. It only decreases by 0.5 seconds every rank. The ability is a fairly long targeter. It's a fairly easy skill shot to hit, especially the closer you are to the enemy. It flies pretty fast for a projectile. It will stop at walls. It does not go through walls. And like I said, it deals no damage to minions. It has no effect to minions. Mummify is a single target ability. No matter how close the enemy is to each other, it will always only hit one enemy. It is a very good way to catch up to the enemy, even though it can't be used during the channel time of the one, which, by the way, high res, easy buff for Anubis right there. Let me cast Mummify while I'm casting Plague of Lotus. It can still be used to, let's say one of these bots is running away, which I'm sure someday they will implement a running bot, right? One can only hope. Anyway, you stun, run up to him, start Plague of Lotus. The stun duration is not long enough for the entire duration of Plague of Locusts. And since you cannot cast it while casting Plague of Locusts, it will never be long enough. It is your only safety tool, so try not to just throw it out willy-nilly whenever you can. If you can secure a kill for it, go for it. If you can secure a kill with it, go for it, but you should try to keep this ability with you for when you inevitably get jumped on by the jungler, considering you have no escape. That way, let's say this Ymir just jumped on me, I can use my 3 at my feet, stun him, hit him, and then use my 1. Speaking of the 3, let's move on to Anubis' third ability. Grasping Hands. Summon allies from the underworld, dealing magical damage repeatedly to enemies in an area. This also slows enemies in the area. The ability hits 4 times over 1.5 seconds. The slow is refreshed on each hit and does not stack. This ability does a total of 140 intelligence scaling if you can deal all 4 hits of the ability duration. The scaling does not increase per level, but the base damage does by a lot. This is far and large what people use to clear waves. However, people have been using the 1, considering the self-slow decreases now per level. If you want to be safe, if you don't feel comfortable yet with Anubis, I recommend leveling the 3 first. Not only is it safe damage, it's much faster in dealing its damage than Plague of Locusts, so you do get more damage off of it from your 2. You can also use your 3 before using your 2, unlike your 1. The cooldown does decrease per level, and the cost increases per level. The slow is fairly strong. It is also an ability that can be used to help catch up for Plague of Locusts. This is the area of the ability. It will hit everybody in the area. It has a pretty cool ground effect on it, which is always sick to see. This ability can also be used in most areas. This is one of the target abilities that you can basically use in a wall and screw yourself over. Most abilities will stop targeters. This one doesn't really care. You can deal damage halfway in a wall, through a wall, it doesn't matter. You can cast it from the other side of a wall, which is another good thing. You can cast your entire kit basically through the wall. Triple kill. I didn't mean to kill them. I actually wanted those bots here. Anyway. Like I said, you can use the 2 right after you use the 3. A lot of people use the 2 first so that they can confirm the 3. Which, if you're just starting, that's perfectly fine. It is much better, though, if you can get the 3 off first and then throw the 2. The delay between the 2 is actually not very big, so... But it does give you another, like, 2 ticks per stun duration of the 3. So it is worth it to try to throw out the Mummify second. And put down the Grasping Hands first. It is a very basic ability. It's just circle AoE that does damage in an area. Moving on to Anubis' ultimate ability, Death Gaze. Your piercing gaze burns enemies in a line, deals an initial burst of magical damage, then channels to repeatedly deal magical damage. You are CC immune while using this ability. The ability hits a total of 24 times plus the initial burst, for an actual total of 25 times. You are rooted while channeling this ability, unlike the first ability, meaning you cannot move while you're using this ability. You can look around freely, but you cannot move your physical character. Death Gaze has the same range as Mummify, meaning that if you can hit a max range Mummify, you can hit a max range Death Gaze. If you hit the wrap, hit them with the ult. The cooldown is static and 90 seconds, as is the cost. This ability has a total has a total intelligence scaling of 570. That brings the total intelligence scaling of this kit to 1029% of your total intelligence. This god scales hard. Building high intelligence items is very high return for damage to stat conversion. Every ability that deals damage, except the 2, okay? I remember now that the 2 does damage, but whatever. The 2 is a crowd control ability, first and foremost. Do not be using your Mummify to do damage, unless, again, you can secure a kill with it. Every ability in his kit, other than the 2, deals more damage than the number of intelligence that you have. So if I have 100 magical intelligence, I will deal more than 100 damage. The targeter for Death Gaze, as I said, about the same length. It's supposed to be exactly the same length as Mummify. That is the ultimate targeter, Mummify targeter. The ultimate, Mummify. The only difference is that the ultimate is very thin. This very much is an ability that a lot of people miss. The easiest way to counteract this ability is to run around in a circle around the Anubis. This is what the ability looks like. You become crowd control immune, rooted to the spot, and deal damage in a straight line. You can, as I said, move that line to wherever you want. However, the range is fixed, and your position is fixed. You cannot move anywhere when casting the ultimate ability. Most people want to hit the wrap, then the ultimate. The real combo is to land your 3, then your wrap, then ult. For ultimate damage, we ended up doing 1800 damage with 125 magical scaling. 1800 items, or 1800 damage with basically no items. Without using R1. Just R1 and 3 alone does 1000 damage. Our kit can basically one-shot if we hit every single bit of it without any items. That's just from base damage numbers. Building a tiny amount of magical or of intelligence will get you so far. Anubis is actually one of the better solos because of how little power he needs to build to still do relevant amounts of damage. It's not mid-mage damage, but it's respectable damage that can't just be ignored. As with the 1 and the 3, the 4 can be used through walls. Whoops. The whole thing has to be aimed. And as it states, there is an initial burst when Anubis first gets into that stance. The first tick hits much harder than the rest of them. Let's see if I can hit this other Ymir with just one tick. So there you go. You can see the damage. The first damage tick, and then just a normal tick of the ultimate. We've basically gone over the combo. Anubis is a pretty easy character. Your main goal is not to die. Trust me, the enemy will come to you. You do not need to run to them. They will come to you. They want to kill you. They know you don't have a jump. So when they jump on you, you're going to use your 3, stun, hit them with a 1. If you can weave in auto attacks between all of those abilities, that's even better. If you can auto use a 3, auto, stun, auto, use your 1. Then keep autoing. Back away, baby. Just back away. Smile and wave. Your ultimate, of course, can be used if somebody jumps on you, but that is very hard because they will start to just run around in a circle on you, and it's very hard to hold aim on somebody like that. But if they do, if you can manage to wrap them and ult them, they'll probably be dead very fast. A quick tip, even though it is much safer to clear with the 3. Level 1, if you're playing Conquest, it is much safer to actually put a point in your 1 and clear the entire wave with your 1, because it will clear the entire wave, unlike your 3, which will leave the wave at like half HP and with you with your pants down. So always level your 1 on level 1, unless you really feel like they're about to invade you and jump on your face from level 1. And even then, if you have friendlies around you, your 1 deals so much damage that it's worth it. After that, after level 1, you can start leveling your 3. That is the order I would do things in. Normally, when I play Anubis, I'm building Blink and trying to jump on people's faces, so I level the 1 first. But if you're trying to be safe, if you're trying to play Anubis quote-unquote correctly, you're probably going to level the 3 after you level the 1 for level 1. Then you're going to level the 1 after the 3 is max level. Then you're going to level the 4, then the 2. Remember that all your abilities go through the wall except for Mummify. I wish that they would make the targeter get stuck on walls. That would be really cool. Someday. Anyways, moving onward. That is Anubis's kit. Moving on to builds that we can do with Anubis. As you saw in his passive, Anubis gains a lot of lifesteal. He also gains protections. The tankier your character is inherently, the better it is to build health, to build lifesteal. So, a build for Anubis is going to look a very quick build that you could use anywhere in any game mode. We're going to start Conduit Gem, because we do not need Sands of Time. If you really hate having 2 to 3 seconds of downtime where you can't do anything because your ability's on cooldown, then build Sands of Time. But generally, you just want that intelligence, okay? You want to hit hard. You want, if somebody jumps you, you don't want to cast multiple rotations. You want to kill them in one ability rotation. So we're going to build Conduit Gem. Next item. We're going to go straight to intelligence. For now, and for the foreseeable future, until they nerf this item to the ground, you're going to start Soul Gem. Even though Anubis is not the best at proccing it, 75 intelligence, 15% lifesteal, and then a little bit of cooldown on top of that, you want that. That's going to be first item any game. Power and intelligence are the name of the game right now. So we're going to build Spear of Desolation, 90 intelligence, 5% penetration. At the end of this, we want to have at least 25% penetration. If we can have more, that would be better. But this item's passive will also help you hyper carry. When you get a kill or assist on an enemy god, your non-ultimate cooldowns are reduced by 1 second, and your ultimate cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds. Somebody jumps on your face, you murder them, your cooldowns get reset, you kill the next guy. Easy deal. Spear of Desolation. Yes, please. Thank you. Third item is gonna be a bit of a struggle. Are you destroying the enemy team? Build Bloodbound Book. Gain more lifesteal. And now you have a health shield on top of everything else. When you pop the health shield, your lifesteal will increase even more. Lifesteal, 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 lifesteal. And intelligence and max health. This item has every stat that an Anubis could want. Next item. One of the few gods that can build Totem of Death successfully. I don't care about the cooldown rate, but 40% or 40 intelligence and that passive. When you hit an enemy god or jungle boss with an ability, you gain the piercing effect, granting you 7.5% penetration for 4 seconds. Stacks up to 4 times, and they can stack from the same ability. So, with just a Plague of Lotus, you can end up having 30% penetration with your one. Next item, what could be better than 70 intelligence, 2 mana regen, 10% penetration, and gaining an additional intelligence equal to 20% of your intelligence from items? Nothing. So, Rod of Tahuti it is. Rod of Tahuti 4th item, baby. We're sitting at 420 intelligence. If you need more penetration, then build Obsidian Shard. If you don't need more penetration, build Typhon's Fang for another 35% lifesteal. I want to show you how crazy, we're of course going to get Archmage's Gem, how crazy this lifesteal can go in this build. Before that, relics, relic choice. What are you building on Anubis? Any of these 4 really. Phantom Shell, so Aegis, the battle between Aegis and Phantom Shell on Anubis is interesting because with Aegis, you can block damage, but with Phantom Shell, you gain a shield on top of your health, and it doesn't prevent you from dealing damage, so you can continue to Plague of Locusts while your Phantom Shell is active. Because Aegis, when you are invulnerable, it will also prevent you from healing. Whereas with this active item, you can continue to fight through the engagement or whatever gank happened to you. Personally, I think if you're gonna rule out any of the relics other than Sundering Arc, of course, we are not. If I don't talk about Sundering Arc, do not get this. The Sundering Arc is a bad item. Nobody should get it. They should delete it from the game. It's not a bad item, okay? It's good when it's good, but for most characters, bad item. Phantom Shell. Now, as I was saying, I think if you're gonna dump any of these 3 items or any of these 4 items here, you should dump Aegis. Phantom Shell I think is better. Aegis is better if you are not sure of yourself and you want more safety. If you're scared of a Poseidon Kraken, then Aegis is good, even though your one makes you displacement immune and your ultimate is crowd control immune. So if a Poseidon Krakens you, hopefully you mummify them and then you use your ultimate or your or your Plague of Locusts to continue doing damage to them while not being CC'd. Now, if they have a lot of crowd control, it's always good as an immobile mage to have beads. Because even though you are displacement immune and you have crowd control immunity and you have a stun, having more safety is always a good thing. My favorite relic, of course, is Blink. If you can Blink, Mummify, and then Death Gaze somebody, you know, there's nothing better than staring somebody down, blinking their face, mummifying, and killing them. But that's a troll play, you know? So there you have it. That's a build that will work for you in any situation just about. It's not the best build. It's not the best build. Trust me. I know, I am aware. But this will get you started. You don't need this much lifesteal. This much lifesteal will help you in lower brackets of play, and it's fun to have. You do heal a lot from this lifesteal. It is a form of safety on its own to have this much lifesteal. Look at that. If I was fighting under this tower, if there was an enemy here, I could practically just stay under this tower and continue fighting them. And the tower is not going to bother me at all. I'm taking 666 damage per shot, and the only reason I have to leave is because I killed the bot. So that'll just go to show you how hard the lifesteal can go. Basically, half HP. How many shots was that? How many Phoenix? 43 Phoenix shots. I don't know how long those take to reset. Either way, anyway, you get the point. That is Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.
You are my friend. I don't heal.